I need a 30 for 30 to show that I'm different like Jordan and Pippen. I need a 30 for 30 like Jalen and Webber. Nobody gon' fuck with my clique. I need a 30 for 30. America, I'm glad to have my brother with me once more. The pulse of Cowboys Nation, my brother Ray Cesar Leo, for another edition of How About Them Cowboys. What's happening, man?
I just appreciate the fact that you will have me on, even though the Cowboys aren't in the playoffs. We find a way to keep them in the know in the news regardless. So let's do it.
Hey, no doubt. Hey, y'all make the Forbes list as #1 team in all of the world. You know what I'm saying? So there's always news there, and there was definitely news recently. Y'all got a new defensive coordinator. All right, we know last year the defense was the problem. It seemed like y'all moving on and got Dan Quinn. So I definitely want to get your views on this hire.
Man, it's a good hire. It's a great hire, actually. For a guy like me to not give Mike McCarthy really any credit and Jerry Jones any credit, this is one that they got right. Um, you know, I'm not taking a shot at Dan Quinn when I say this. He's not head coach material, in my opinion. What he is really good at, though, I'm gonna break it down for you. He's an excellent defensive coordinator, excellent defensive mind. Um, for folks that don't remember, before he was the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons, he was a defensive specialist for the Seattle Seahawks when they had one of the legendary defenses, right, with the Legion of Boom. Well, Dan Quinn helped orchestrate that. He was a defensive coordinator during that. Dan Quinn's specialty is defensive line play. What we lacked in this past season, even though the season is still going, what we lacked in this past season was the defensive run game. We couldn't stop a nosebleed. We couldn't stop anybody, man. So to know that we're bringing in Dan Quinn, a guy who specializes in defensive line play, before he was a coordinator, he was a defensive line coach. That gets me excited. It lets me know that for what I think of Mike McCarthy, he actually understands that bringing in an experienced guy and the guy that specializes in defensive line play is paramount. And a guy like Dan Quinn, there's no one better, in my opinion, when it comes to defensive line plays. That's a huge pickup.
What would you say to Cowboy fans who are skeptical of the pickup, given the fact that he had so many Hall of Famers on that defense in Seattle, and that his defenses in Atlanta didn't really enjoy that kind of success that they had that he had in Seattle?
It's a valid point. It's a good point, man. What I will say to them is this: Dan Quinn has been successful, whether he's been with the Cowboys, with the Bills, on the collegiate level, whoever it might be, the Jets. Dan Quinn has had the ability to play 4-3 defense and 3-4 defense. So he understands the ins and outs of what it takes to be successful in an NFL defense. He doesn't have to worry about game management. He doesn't have to worry about personnel. He can now focus on one specific thing. And I really think he's going to thrive for it. Listen, just because I say Dan Quinn is not good head coaching material, that's not a shot at him. If somebody offers you a position that's above your caliber and pays you top dollar and prestige, you're supposed to take that position as a human being, right? That's what you're supposed to do. Dan Quinn took that shot, just didn't work out, in my opinion. Let's not forget, regardless of what I think of Dan Quinn as a head coach, the brother took the Atlanta Falcons to the Super Bowl. They blew the lead, but they made it to the Super Bowl. He was the head coach of that team. So here we are now. I look at it as a bargain to bring him into the Dallas Cowboys organization, to bring that wealth of knowledge, to bring that scheme play, and for him to know that we can bring him in now. He doesn't need to be groomed. Dan Quinn can come in right now, man, and transform our defense. In my opinion, the NFL game is won at the line of scrimmage, offensive line and defensive line play. You can have Aaron Rodgers, you can have Tom Brady, Drew Brees, you name it, your Hall of Fame quarterbacks, the GOATs. But if they don't have time to throw it, doesn't matter. We saw Tom Brady go down many a times against the New York Giants, right, in Super Bowls. So it's one of those things where if you can get good pressure, you don't have to have the strongest back end when it comes to linebackers and defensive backs. Go ahead and bring this guy in. Let him transform the defense. We know what's coming back on the offensive end if we get Dak to re-sign. I feel really good about it. It's the first time in a while that I've been excited about something, like truly excited about something in the Dallas Cowboys organization.
Well, last thing then, I want to know which of your defenders do you think will benefit the most from having Dan Quinn come in and kind of bring bringing some new, fresh ideas in there?
Man, that's a great question. Even though I have, kind of given Tank Lawrence a hard time, I really think DeMarcus Lawrence has the most to benefit. One, because I think if he's a true dog, which I do think he is, he'll have a lot to prove. He'll have a guy that'll come in with fresh ideas to show him, hey man, just because you may have lost a step, there are things that you can do to be better at your game to get you back, into the top tier when it comes to quarterback pressure guys. I think a guy like Alden Smith that came in after taking a hiatus can learn some new things from Dan Quinn. The entire defense can, but I really do think those two edge rushers are going to find out that they'll find a breath of fresh air with Dan Quinn, man. Like I said, the reason he got that job in Atlanta is because of the things he did with the Legion of Boom. Now, yes, he had Richard Sherman, Cam Chancellor, Earl Thomas, Bobby Wagner.
Do you think you have any guys already in your defensive backfield that could transform into diet versions of those guys you just
Yes,
mentioned?
I'm glad you said diet versions
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
those guys in the Legion of Boom are transcendent players, right? They're guys that you can't replicate. You got to go out and find. But I do think a guy like Jalen Smith can be a diet Bobby Wagner. I think his mental is the same. His physical is not the same. I do think his mental is the same. I look at a guy like Xavier Woods in a defensive backfield. No, he's not Earl Thomas, but he can be a diet version. I don't think by any means that Trayvon Diggs is Richard Sherman, but he can be a diet version. I'm not asking him to be a Legion of Boom. The Legion of Boom had to hold teams to 21 points to win championships while Russell Wilson was starting to develop himself. We got a high-powered offense with that coming back, so I don't need you to do 21. You can hold them to 28, 31. We can score 35, 38. That's what you're looking at in this new age NFL. Figure out ways to just keep your offense in the game. So if you have that next level quarterback, who I think Dak is, can get you to that next level.
Well, that's what it is. Sounds like the pulse of Cowboys Nation is finally happy about something
Some,
Jerry Jones did. Is that safe to say?
it's safe to say, man, in the offseason where we're once again not in the postseason,
Right.
um, I'm already calling it the offseason. You have something to look forward to where we've gotten so many things wrong. This is one of the things that we got right. I really feel that way, man, that you can benefit in the long run from having a guy like Dan Quinn. Whether he's up for a head coaching job in the next year or so, don't worry about that right now. Focus on the now. This is a great hire for now for a team that's well equipped offensively to win now. Dan Quinn's job is to get that defense up to speed to keep us in games.
There it is, Cowboys Nation. Y'all heard it from the pulse himself. Appreciate you, boy.
Man, love you.
Love.
Go.
Go. Subscribe to our daddy's YouTube channel. He's the best. Hit the like button, turn on the notifications.